Welcome to Kids Art with Lucca. We're going to make hearts out of weeping birch today. And you can get weeping birch, I like to go, after windy nights. The wind, the child of heaven. When it's been a really stormy night, then I run out to see how much has come down off the trees. And I like the weeping birch best because it's thin and easy to bend. But anything that you can find that you can bend, you can use. All right, so here I have some weeping birch here, and you can see I can loop it around. But sometimes when you loop it around, it breaks, it snaps. And then instead of something round, you get something like that sticking out. So what I do is I soak the weeping birch right before I'm going to use it. So I soak the weeping birch just in a bucket in the sink. But any branch or anything you're going to use, if you soak it, it's pliable, it can bend, it won't break so easily. So that's what I do. So I'm going to take an end of this and see if I can unwind some of it. It's pretty much, when I get it, I bunch it all in and then I make a circle out of it and I tie it closed so that when I pull it in and out, it looks like this. But now I've undone that, and I'm going to take part of this to over there to the table. And I think you probably want a towel to lay it on. Give it a good shake. Now we have the weeping birch that's been soaking, and I'm going to let it lie here lay here on the towel, and then get the ribbons ready, because how I'm going to join it, it's kind of hard to tie knots until you really learn to hold the thing while you're tying it. So I've devised a tricky way to do it so we don't have to tie knots. So this is how we'll do it. First I'm going to cut the ribbons so they're ready, and then I'll show you how that works. Let me try these two. And they need to be fairly long because you're going to wind them in and out, and you want them to trail down. So I'm going to probably make them about that long. I'll cut those off. There we go. And then I'm going to use a piece of this, which is really easy to use. So anything that has texture like yarn or ribbon that has texture, it will work well too. I'm going to start with this, in fact, because you're going to be able to see it super well, how it's going to work. Maybe. All right. Now I'm going to get some birch, and the ribbon's ready. Remember, anything that's bendable, really bendable. Young willow would work. Lilac bushes that are just coming up would work. Okay, it's kind of hard to get apart, so you have to just pull. Now, I'm going to split it in half, gently so that I don't break it while I'm doing it. Just make your fingers feel its way through. It's kind of like braiding. So now, I'm going to gently form it into a heart, because if I push it too hard, it's going to crack and break. And I don't want that before I even get started. You see the two sides of my heart? Okay, I'm going to take this, and I'm going to go once around so that it'll hold it in place, and I won't have to keep holding it. There it is. Okay. And then I'm going to go through the heart. See it go through? Okay. Then I'm going to go around behind and go through the other heart. I think it's easier to reach through than to try to push it through. Right now it's holding it together. Do you see how easy that was? I'm just threading through. So it's like you're lacing around. Now I'm going to lace it once more around and lay it down. And take the two ends. It's kind of tricky because they have these flowers on them. And tie once through. Because of the flowers, it's very tricky. You don't really have to tie it. I'm just tying it to make sure it doesn't come undone. If you've twisted it through 2 or 3 times, it shouldn't come undone at all. It should be just fine. And there it is. Now, I'm just going to let those ribbons dangle down with the stems. Now, if you want the stems a little shorter, you just take see, this piece is way too long. So what you do is you take your scissors and you just snip it right off where you want it to be, so that it is the same length that you wanted it to be. You might want a few trailers because they look kind of interesting, I think, when they're trailing like that. This one might be a little long. Let's give it a snip. Okay. And there's one heart. You want these pieces that are loose because that's what makes it look very natural. So it's all right with that there are loosest pieces. If you don't like them, you can snip them off too. But I kind of like them trailing out. Okay, there's one. Now let's try that one more time so you can see how that lacing went, especially if you have ribbon that doesn't have anything on it, like texture, like those little flowers that were on that other one. Okay, I'm going to get, I usually shake it, that's the easiest way to get it loose. Pull everything loose that you don't want. Okay, here it is. Now, I'm going to put my finger between the two sides, and I'm just going to bend it in. Oops, see, I broke that one. So I'll show you how I get rid of it. All right. This side's a little thicker too. Let me try that again, because one side is too thick. All right. Now let's try it. So I pull it down, and I pull it down, and you can see that broken one. Look, I'll show you how to get rid of it once we've wrapped it. All right. Now you're going to take, I'm taking 2 ribbons this time just because I think it'll be more interesting looking. You know, that might be confusing. I don't think I will do that. I think I'll just use 1 ribbon and then I'll tie the other on. Then you'll be able to see better what's happening. Okay, so once you go around, remember that part, you want the 2 sides of your heart, the 2 lobes sticking out like that. You're going to go through the first one. Maybe. There it goes. Okay. And go around behind, and you're going to come back through the second one. Pull it tightly, because if it isn't tight, it won't hold it together. So you just pull on the ends. All right, and then straighten out your heart. Lay it down. Wow, we've got a lot of branches here. Okay. We have too many there. And then put it through like you do a shoelace. Tie it once. I'm going to pick some flowers out. I forgot they were here. Let's see. I think I like ones that are the same color tone. Ooh, that's kind of an interesting one. Too long though. That's a good one. I'll tie it higher. All right, and then you lay that on right in the center. And take the 2 ends of the ribbon and tie them together tightly and make a bow like you do on your shoes. However you tie, I do it with 2 loops, the 2 rabbit loops. Now, remember we were going to get rid of that one that's broken up there. So this is what we're going to do. See it right there? That pointing piece, we don't like that. I don't like it. So I'm going to break it off as near to the heart center as I can. I just twist it. See how it's there? I got rid of that. And this one looks a little long, so I'm going to take that one out too. There. Now, remember to take the scissors at the end. You can see I have one really long one there. And make sure you don't cut off the flowers that you put in or the ribbon. And trim it so you have it the length you want it to be. Oops, there's one of my broken pieces. And if anything comes loose, just tuck it back into the ribbon. It'll usually hold it, because it's like a wreath. This piece of mine is coming loose. Let me push it in there. And there you have another one. Okay, voila. I'd love to see what you did. If you'd like to share your project, use the hashtag #WithLucca.